question of
Question
the day.
of the day, Lyle. What is the most accurate version of the Bible?
Ooh. The King James Version.
Prove it, because we've had a bit of discussion on our socials.
Well, we have too,
Yeah,
haven't we?
on all our
Okay, so
socials,
basically
actually.
it works like this. This is going to vary from one language group to another, so we are assuming that this person is asking this question in relationship to the English language.
Yes.
And the second thing is that there is no such thing as a perfect translation. You are a person who speaks two languages.
Mm-hmm.
You would know that a perfect translation is impossible. You can't just turn one word into another word.
Correct.
Because often you need to add in words or take out words to make a sentence structure that actually makes sense. And all translations have been done by human beings, uninspired human beings. And so you're never going to have a perfect translation, and I love my King James Version. It's my favourite ever. But I could show you some mistakes in it. Some translational mistakes, like where it talks about sick handkerchiefs and so forth. But we don't have to go there this morning. The point is, none of them are perfect. What you've got to aim for then is the best one. And so here at Faith FM, we use two translations. We use the KJV and we use the NLT. The NLT is a more thought-for-thought translation. It's more like a devotional kind of a Bible. It's easy to read, easy to understand, but it's not always as clear theologically. And so when you want a Bible for studying theological truth, for discovering truth, for doing a in-depth Bible study, you need a translation that is a more word-for-word translation. And your KJV family of Bibles aim to be a word-for-word translation rather than a thought-for-thought translation. With a thought-for-thought translation, you are relying on the thoughts of the translator, not the thoughts of the author. If it was the thoughts of the author, yeah, great, but it's not. It's the thoughts of the translator, and I don't trust that all the time. So a word-for-word translation gives me the opportunity for me, with my Bible study between me and God and the Holy Spirit and a study of the Scriptures, to be able to find out the thoughts of the author, not the thoughts of the translator. And so that's where you need to head for deep Bible study. Now, along with that, of course, you need to consider what the Bible is There are some excellent translations out there of very poor manuscripts, and vice versa, some excellent translations of some very good manuscripts. The argument there basically is majority versus oldest. So you've got the majority manuscripts where you've got 98% of all manuscripts read the same, they look like this, and then you've got some older manuscripts that read a bit differently. They make up about 2% of the ancient manuscripts that are that are available. Some argue that the older ones are more accurate. Some argue that the majority is more accurate. Personally, I take the argument, and we can probably have this argument in depth some other time when we've got more time, or jump on our social media and comment. I take the view that the majority manuscript is much better to go with than the older one, particularly when you look at the pedigree of the older ones and where they originated from. It raises some very large question marks over how, the motives behind the people who actually made those manuscripts. So those are some of the different arguments and the different discussions that are out there. The most important thing, of course, is that you read the Bible. I came to Jesus through reading the NIV, which is now one of my least favourite translations. But the most important thing is to actually get a Bible and read it, and you will find Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you so much. If you have a question, give us a call here, 1-800-FAITH-FM, 1-800-324-843, and we'll answer it live on air. If you have a dad joke, don't call.